After Juilliard, I got a job playing for strippers at the nightclub in the village in Sheridan Square. And I'm saying to myself, man, after 4 years, I studied Stravinsky, Bartok, and I pie with Jerry, with Charlie Parker, and nothing is the progress.
Let's see if Pink's got that pharmacy yet.
Somebody said birds across the street chanting. I said, oh man, we could taste the mess. And at the time, I didn't like my horn, I didn't like the reed, I didn't like the strap.
Your number one is uploaded.
I didn't like it.
Really got his bad side. Now we can trace that boat theft back to you,
And
Pink.
so I went over to
Next up,
Ray
in the
Parker in a club called, it's still there. I can't think of the name of it. And there was the great Charlie Parker, and he was playing Larry Rivers. You know Larry Rivers, the painter? Well, he had a baritone sax, and Bert was playing on the baritone sax. There was a piano about this long.
Caught in the act, Lee. Naughty boy. I just need a shot of Fang receiving that stolen car, and I'm done.
His father was on drums, which were a couple of pie plates and a Phooey stand. That was it. That was the man. And I could see that Bert was having trouble playing the baritone. I said, well, Mr. Parker, man, would you like to play my alto? I ran across the street and I'm on a long break. He said, yeah, that'd be cool. This baritone's kicking my ass.
Fuzzy wuzzy.
And I ran
That's
across
Fang, but the car's obscured.
got my alto,
I need to
brought
get
it
a
back.
closer
I got it on
shot.
the bandstand. He's sitting here and I'm sitting there. I handed him my horn. Then he played Long Ago and Far Away. And all of a sudden, I'm listening to my horn, and there's nothing wrong with the reed. There's nothing wrong with the mouthpiece. I mean, even the strap sounded good, you know. And he hands me the horn. He said, now you play. Oh, man, you know. I mean, I run across a lot of young kids who are like,
definitely the stolen car.
Hey, you! Stop!
And they're always saying, oh, I'm too shy, I'm too shy. Listen, I'm too shy. Got it. Sometimes you knock on the door and rumbles. Shy ain't gonna cut it, man. Bird said, now you play. My shyness disappeared. I mean, I was scared to death. I'm not talking about the fear of bullshit, but I knew I had to come up with something.
Jane, Chief, I'm looking at the pictures you just uploaded. I don't think anyone's gonna pay you to photograph their wedding, but they'll just about do as evidence.
That was almost a code.
Anyway, I've got undercover officers arresting the other gang members you photographed. So if Chad calls you, you know nothing. I don't want anything spooking him until we can get one of his gang members to testify against him.
Yeah, Chief's time. I love it. And I stopped looking for the magic bead, the magic memories, the magic strap. I started to practice. And I started to focus. And I started being fun and sad and young man. I became an artist. I didn't know where I was making progress. Bert said, we're doing okay. The path is
Driver!
I know nothing.
Don't worry, most of my staff are morons.
But not you! I like you a lot!
Wait, I did that wrong.
Can I help you, sir?
Yes, I have a job for you. Get to the Crescent Park Wharf.
Now!
Tropical Indian Ocean.
Light as
For as long as anyone there can remember, the people have always raised spicy clothes and been ruled by sleepy sultans. The latest and greatest of them all was the Sultan Majid. The Sultan enjoyed his power because he truly cared for his people. He kept them busy and prosperous by building the biggest clothes industry in the whole world. The harbor at Zanzibar was not very deep, so ships had to anchor far offshore. Day after day, the porters waded through the water to take the clothes out of the great ships. Year after year, the people of Zanzibar grew more and more clothes for the people of the world, and the lines of porters grew longer and longer.
Yowzers!
It was a still, moonlit night when the Aban Khan led the angry farmers on a most evil mission. In his crazed mind, he saw the hippos as threatening clouds in the sky, daring to stand in his way. Clouds he had to destroy at all costs. All Zanzibar, across the bay from the city of Dar es Salaam, in East Africa. This is Zanzibar before the trouble started. A lazy island in the tropical Indian Ocean. For as long as anyone there can remember, the people have always raised spicy cloves and been ruled by sleepy sultans. The latest and greatest of them all was the Sultan Majid. The Sultan enjoyed his power because he truly cared for his people. He kept them busy and prosperous by building the biggest clove industry in the whole world. The harbor at Zanzibar was not very deep, so ships had to anchor far offshore. Day after day, the porters waded through the water to take the cloves out to the great ships. Year after year, the people of Zanzibar grew more and more cloves for the people of the world, and the lines of porters grew longer and longer. It was a still, moonlit night when the Aban Khan led the angry farmers on a
Are you there yet?
mission.
Yeah.
In
This
his
job
crazed
was meant to
mind,
be for Fang, but I can't find him. Or me, or Phooey, or
daring
Pinwheeler.
to stand on his way.
Are you saying my coffee is bad? No! Something's up. And the only men I have left are you. And this bunch of dregs! So, with all my most trusted employees missing, you're going to have to do the job for me. I'll give you the details later. No one can know about this. Just take my boat from the wharf and get to Apollo.
People have always raised spicy cloves and been ruled by sleepy sultans. The latest and greatest of them all was the Sultan Majid. The Sultan enjoyed his power because he cared for his people. He kept them busy and prosperous by building the biggest clove industry in the whole world. The harbor at Zanzibar was not very deep, so ships had to anchor far offshore. Day after day, the porters waded through the water to take the cloves out to the great ships. Year after year, the people of Zanzibar grew more and more cloves for the people of the world, and the lines of porters grew longer and longer. It was a still moonlit night when the Aban Khan led the angry farmers on a most fatal mission. In his crazed mind, he saw the hippos as threatening clouds in the sky, daring to stand in his way. Clouds he had to destroy at all costs.
After the schoolyard, I got a job named Skipper in the whack, you know. And somebody said birds across the street jamming. I said, oh man, let me get a taste of this. And at the time I didn't like my horn, I didn't like the reed, I didn't like the strap, I didn't like the liggage, I didn't like anything. I was a maudlin young man with a problem, you know. And so I went over there, and there's Great Charlie Parker at a club called, it's still there, I can't think of the name of it. And there was the Great Charlie Parker, and he was playing on Larry Rivers. You know Larry Rivers, the painter? Well, he had a baritone sax. Bird was playing on the baritone sax. There was a piano about this long. You know, terrible looking instrument. This guy playing it was about 90 years old. His father was on drums, which were a couple of pie plates and a little snare drum. And that was it. That was the band. And I could see that Bird was having trouble playing the baritone. I said, Mr. Parker, man, would you like to play my album? I the
update you
young
once I
kids
know
when
more.
do master classes or teach. And they were always saying, oh, I'm too shy, I'm too shy. I said, don't be shy. You got it. Sometimes you knock on the door and it opens. And an opportunity answers, shy ain't gonna cut it, man.
Have you got to Apollo Island, Tiger?
Yes, sir.
Good. I want you to steal
I'm scared to death.
a moon buggy. Well, what did you think I sent you to Apollo Island for? Ice cream?
And I knew the song.
Just get into the space center and steal a moon buggy.
I am a walking drill. I know all the
I should find a disguise so I can get into the
four
space
hit
center.
parade songs every week for years for my lessons. So I did a fair job on going far away, Jerome Curry. He heard me over and in my ear he said, sounds real good for you still my heart. This time I levitated on the subject. I went and I played the shit out of it. And I stopped looking for the magic reed, the magic mouthpiece, the magic strap, and I started to practice. And I started to focus. And I stopped being a maudlin, sad young man. I became an artist. Phil knows it. Sounds real good, Phil. So I didn't know whether I was making progress, but I'm doing okay.
Take a look at that. That's the show, honey. When I get you kids in, you can decide for yourselves if you want to stay. At least you'll have found out the difference between us, people like the Carlyles. Homer, how much interest are you paying me on your oil leases? Birthday party, and you've got yourself a griffin, and that's a problem. Well, school teachers that looked like you when I was a boy, I'd have showed up once in a while. I'll throw in a lifetime supply of toothpaste. What's all this jerking and jumping for? Back home when the Blackfoot Indians dance like this, they get rank. Being that tomorrow's election day, I'm making a token gesture to let my son here know that I'm rooting for him. Each one of these packages here contains $100, and there are 278 of them. One for every kid in school. To give them as a present in exchange for their promise that this afternoon at the gala party, it was an attempt to make kids vote for you out of gratitude. Not me. Well, I'm amazed. You boys have seen me operate long enough to know that before I get into anything, I make sure I'm not getting in over my head. I'm going to buy control of the company. I do a whole lot of research on the problems that company faces, and I give myself ideas how to solve